Hello YouTube, this is BUB'S Comics coming at you with a quick comic call. Actually, it's a book review, so we'll go with that. It's kind of a trade book review. I just wanted to go over this a little bit. Buddy of mine, TheJacksonRoykirk, he sent me a couple of the Planet Comics trades, and I've been looking for these. They make a hard cover and they make a soft cover, and I couldn't decide which one I was really going to focus on. He had heard me speak about it in a No Faces comic chat, and we were kind of going over the pros and cons, and I hadn't decided which to go with. I hadn't pulled the trigger because I figure once I get one, I'm going to have to get the whole collection of that, right? Well, he was talking about these softies that they put out, and what the softies are just instead of a hardcover version, they're basically just soft cover. And there's a couple of other minor differences we'll get into here in a minute. So let's make me small and get to the haul. Yeah, it's a haul. There are two new books in my collection. Thanks again, JacksonRoykirk, for sending these my way for review purposes, and I guess to keep too. So I mean, he didn't put a return address, so they're mine now. Thanks, buddy. Look at you. All right. So first up, we have number 1. This is volume 1. So I'm not quite sure. I haven't done the exact check between the hardcover and the softcover versions of these. I think that they have the same number of issues in them, although sometimes they do change. So for instance, this one has 3 issues in them, issues 1, 2, and 3, but then some others have 4 issues in them. So I just want to make sure that I'm choosing the right set that has the most number of issues per book, because I don't want to have multiple books. Might as well keep the floppies. So I am collecting Planet Comics. I'm going for a full, probably low grade run, and the idea is just to have all the covers from number 1 on to number 73, which is the final issue, of which I'm somewhere in the 30s. So I'm over halfway through the group, so not doing too bad, and happy about that. But the low grades are so brittle. A lot of them maybe missing a centerfold even, so you can't read the complete stories. They have a lot of issues. So because of that, I thought I'd go ahead and pick up some of these trades. So very happy to have these sent my way. So let's take a look. So this one has a glossy cover, very glossy, in fact. You can kind of see the glare on that. It has kind of a different cover. So this is the cover to number 2, if I recall. But they kind of did this circle and popped it out, and they put the other 4 covers that are in the lot, I think, behind it maybe? No, because that's not... No, I don't know what those are. Oh, those are interior. Those are interior panels. So interesting. And then it has the volume 1 on the side. So now the hardcovers come with a slipcase. So they're much beefier, much bigger. But you get the same number of books, obviously, by the time you finish the set. So, and then it has this here. Shows you the 3 covers on the back. So it has kind of a new design to the front. I like it. It's different. It certainly is different. But one of the main things that I like about it is that they are... they're very soft. I know it says Softee, but this, you could definitely take this somewhere and read it. So some people might be looking to collect these as a collector's item, and I think that if you were going to do that, this wouldn't be the way to go, because the presentation, it's soft, so it's going to take some damage. It's going to get frayed. Whereas the hardcovers, if you're looking to collect this run and have it as the presentation of this run, then you probably want to go with the hardcovers. But with these soft ones, nice Will Eisner art there. With these soft ones, they're much better for like throwing on the table, reading, and making use of them, which is perfect for me, because my ultimate goal is to have each one of these Planet Comics slabbed to preserve them, and just so I can enjoy the covers. Kind of like I look at slabs as trading cards, so to me it's kind of like a trading card front and back kind of thing. And so that's my goal for that entire run, because they're not really that readable on account of how brittle and delicate they are at this age. These books are ranging back to the 40s, so they get pretty sketchy on quality. So it's nice to have something solid like this that I can read, enjoy the stories, and there is just some fantastic art in this series. Oh, there's our little note. So it says, hope you enjoy these, my friend. Thank you for your videos, your humor, and those detailed close-ups of comic covers. TheJacksonRoykirk stepping in with always the well-appreciated humor and the zingers to some of his more favorite YouTubers. Look at that. Planet Comics. That's, of course, issue number 1. And they went ahead with a glossy. So that's gloss, high gloss, for the reprint of the covers. And very nice. And it doesn't look like they tried to really like digitize it or make it real extra. So here's the interior of the front cover. So I'm glad that they included that with advertisements and such. I can't really tell yet if there are a lot of advertisements because I don't think that these early books had very many ads placed inside of them. They're mostly just front cover, back cover ads. And once you paid your cover price, they're happy to get enough money from that. So I think that it'll be hard to tell, but I don't think there's any interior ads in this. But I think that down the line, as you get to further volumes, there would be some. Because I don't think that they would have removed those. So Planetary Adventures of Flint Baker. Isn't that cool? One-eyed monster, men of Mars. Like the old one-eyed monster. I tell you. These Planet Comics, they get pretty racy. They get a little suggestive here and there. But a lot of fun. Just great stuff. And you know, all this stuff is in the public domain. So if you wanted to read digital copies of this, you can. They're very easily available, readily available. And you can have reprints made at any like kind and quality as you prefer. Look at that. But the colors on this are just fantastic. I was very impressed with the color reproduction on this. And if you see, it's not like a digitized. You can still see the differences in the color, kind of the splotchy kind of print. And the paper is like a heavy, not that heavy, but it's a strong newsprint type paper. It's very interesting. It's like the finest newsprint you could ever find. You know, I mean, that's what it feels like. It feels like really, really, really high quality newsprint. So it has a great texture in your hands when you're reading it. It really, and look at the red comment. He's one of my favorites. Very, very good. I mean, it's just such good art in here. The colors are just amazing. It's a very good reproduction. So this, we must be coming to one of the back covers. So there you go. 3 more comic magazines you'll enjoy like a million. Look at that. So here we are. Yep, I knew it. So there's back cover to number 1. And then there's front cover to number 2. So that's very well done. I appreciate that. Look at that Will Eisner goofiness. So good. I love that. It's one of my favorite covers. It's just so odd. It's great. So anyway, look at that. Isn't that awesome? These are just such fun, fantastic. If you're into sci-fi and, you know, a little bit of easy reading, if you will. I mean, heck, that still has a lot more text than some modern books do. But it's not so heavy intensive like Silver Age Marvel, where you're reading like you're on the same page for 10 minutes reading all the text boxes. This moves at a brisk pace. The lettering is spaced nicely. It's pretty cool. Look at the two-headed monster there. Anyway, so and then of course it rounds out to the back, and you have your back covers again. So, and that was the back cover of the other one. So, very cool. So, there you go. I was hoping that it would have all the advertisements. I'm really still hoping that. I'm not quite sure. But so far, I can't tell that it's missing any. And I know that the early issues hardly had any at all. So, I'm pleased with that. So, here's number 2. Now, there's a slight difference between these two. So, you know, a few years ago, This has a pretty good gloss to it. This first volume. A few years ago, I was working in a manufacturer, and I was in some product development, and they had come out with this textured, soft kind. Forget what they call it. Soft. I think it was actually called Softee, but soft feel. And it was a way to coat cardboard or paper to have this kind of soft textured feel. And it was found that in studies that was very desirable on your fingertips. It felt so good. And this is coated in that. So it's pretty cool that they did that. You guys have felt this kind of soft packaging before. It comes in like a lot of electronics, or if you're into like vaping or anything like that, those boxes come with that. Where you feel it and it has that kind of texture under your fingertips where it's almost like velvet, but it's not. So that's what they have here. So this has issues 4, 5, and 6, all from 1940. Again, same design, slightly different texture to the book, not near as glossy, much more of a matte. You can see there's hardly any glare on that at all. I actually prefer this. So this being volume 2, I hope that they carried on the future volumes with this. But here's an interesting thing. They also made it bigger. So it's a very subtle difference. But you can see that volume 2 is just a hair taller than volume 1. They are the same width, or this way, as far as I can tell. But it is a little bit taller than volume 1. That irks me, because when I start putting them on the shelves, I'm going to be like, oh, why are they different heights? One of the reasons that you collect a whole volume, one of the things I like about having a whole volume of books that are the same is that when you get to that part in your library, they're all straight across and you can tell they all go together. But this one's going to have a little bit of a jump. So that irks me. And it almost seems like they started with one publisher and maybe moved to another. But very interesting stuff. So these things say they retail for $24.99 a piece. That's expensive, considering that the ones from the hardcovers, they're older. They've been around for longer, so you can find used copies. Of course, they could be beat up, but you find used copies for like somewhere between 20 and 30 bucks. So you can get a used hard copy for the same price you get a new soft copy, and the soft copy is probably going to wear pretty easily. So price wise, I think they're a little too close. I would like to see these at $19.99. I'm sure $15 is too cheap to ask, but I think 20 would have been a more appropriate price for these. 24 is a bit much, considering you got 73 to go. And if they're only going to put 3 or 4 per, that's going to be quite a large library of these. Look at that. They stuck with the glossy interior on this. And the page is the same. Page quality is the same. So they did a good job. Other than that, they're pretty identical versions of the same stuff. So I'm pleased with that. But I just wish that they had made the spines the same height. That's frustrating. There's a nice written story, kind of pulp style. So that's cool. They included all that, of course. So very cool. Space Admiral Curry in the Doomed universe. Very cool. To me. And then there's there's an advertisement, back cover, and then there's a nice, these rivet covers, man. These are hard to get in person, so I know I still have a long way to go in collecting. It's going to take me probably another 10 years or more to finish that run, I think. Star Pirates, another pulp type story. Very cool. And that same back cover ad as the last one. So there you go. So my review, I think that I would give this one probably a 4 out of 5. And I'd give this one a 5 out of 5. Not counting price. I do think the price needs to come down a little bit. I like that they made this soft, so that's better than that high gloss. Because this will have cracks eventually and stuff, and this will weather better. They're nice, hefty. You can read them easily. They fold them, so you take it on an airplane or whatever you want to do. Read it in your living room. Read it outside. I think they're pretty hardy, and they feel really strong. The price is my only thing. I think they should be about 15 to 20 bucks, not 25. Because when you start seeing these on the used market, these are new, by the way. These were just recently published, I think, this year. or this past year to 2020, I think. And they're not even completed the run yet. So they're only up to maybe volume 6 or 7. So they're not even done yet with this run. They're only like a third of the way done, not even. So be on the lookout for those. So these haven't really hit the secondary market that much yet. And when they do, I figure they'll probably be around 15 bucks or so. So, but, you know, then your condition will vary. So anyway, I really like them. I definitely give the volume 2 higher praise because I like the taller size, even though I wish they matched. And I like the finish to the cover. Other than that, they're pretty much the same, but I'll give it the bump on that cool cover too. I just like that cover. I like them all. So they did a really good job on these. I'm very pleased with them. This will probably be what I collect. I'll probably pick up one hardcover of maybe the first one just to see if I like it better. But those are going to be heavy and harder to pack around. And for me, I'm going to use them straight up to read them. I mean, yeah, I'm going to have them in my library, but they're really to read. So, and to enjoy that way. So I'm definitely gonna keep with the soft runs, but I may pick up one or two of the hardcovers just so that I can, you know, have that as maybe a display piece in my office at work or something like that. So very cool. Thanks so much, TheJacksonRoykirk, for sending these my way. And thank you to all of you who have helped me along the way to find some Planet Comics. If you guys know of any out there, hit me up on Instagram, send me a message and let me know, hey, somebody's got one for sale. It's not that they're impossible to find, but people can almost ask whatever they want for Golden Age books these days. So if they see a book like that and they say, yeah, I give you, you can have it for $800. Oh, you're welcome. You're like, all right. You know, like I'm trying to build an entire run, and when you're doing that, you can't be spending $600 to $1,000 per book. You got to rein it in some. It's still going to be $100 at least, but you gotta bring it down a little bit so you can get more of them, and then upgrade over time. That's the plan anyway, right? So all right, hope y'all appreciate that, and we'll catch you next time in BUB'S Comics. Can't show any glare off that one, but we can on this one. So thanks, read a comic, and don't apologize for the glare. Bye bye.